You all set, John? So being 6:05 on Monday, April 22nd, we're back in open meeting. We just finished up an executive session. Our first item on the agenda is the fire chief. So, Steve, you're up.
Oh, good evening, everyone. How are you? It's
This is
beautiful out
a
there.
vote to award the ambulance billing and collection contract.
Exactly. So just to bring everyone up to speed, so a little history of how we got to where we are this evening and what I believe we should do to go forward. One of the tasks I had when I took the job as chief here in the town was looking for cost savings and more efficiencies and such, which, you know, every town needs one way or another. Certainly every department needs. And one of the things we looked at was the way we bill our ambulance transports. Currently, we're with a company that we have been with for quite a number of years, and they take a 6% off the net is what we essentially pay them for their services of collecting through the various third-party insurances and such. Having talked to other chiefs in the area and being familiar with ambulance billing, we thought we'd take a look at this and see if we couldn't get a better deal somewhere else. So to that end, with the help of Ms. Dennehy, our town administrator, we put together an RFP, sent it out through the normal channels, and did receive some responses back. One from our current vendor, and then again from several other vendors in the area. Some Cambridge, Newark, Delaware, Sutton, Mass, and Raleigh, Mass, which is where Comstar is, who we currently use. Interestingly enough, they all came back identical on the fee, which was a 2% drop compared to what we've been, what Comstar has been taking since January 16th of 2000. So there are other things that go into ambulance billing, not just the amount of money that we're getting back, but there's also what's the easiest way to put it? How efficient, perhaps, they are on doing collections and things of that nature without being overly intrusive into people and understanding when people have difficulties in paying. And Comstar has been good to us that way, but I'm more comfortable, I think, at this point, after reading all the presentations back from the various vendors that did respond to the RFP, and I strongly suggest that we consider changing the vendor to Pro EMS Solutions out of Cambridge, Mass.
What's the name again?
Pro, like as in professional, Pro EMS Solutions is the name of the company. They're out of Cambridge. I do have, I can give you this copy here if you would like the response to the RFP, but we do have it on record in the office. The reason for doing this is twofold. I think one, and this is not to cast any doubts or aspersions on our current vendor, but I was a little taken back by the fact that for almost 18 years we've been billed at a certain rate, or we've been responsible for paying a certain percentage off our net, and once we went out to bid, suddenly it dropped. So that can be interpreted a bunch of different ways, but after talking to the people there and also some points of clarification that I can go into later on how they responded to the RFP, I think Pros was a better response. It gives us everything we were looking for in the request for proposal. They are compatible with the software we use now. They have a very good reputation in the fire service, and several of the local communities have also switched to them and found that their ability to produce reports that are very helpful to us for financial trending and such have been just spot on. So for those reasons, I think we should change to Pro.
What's the length of the contract, Steve?
I'm sorry, sir?
What's the length of the contract that would be
I
signed?
believe we put this one out for a 3-year, but that can be amended any different ways. Interestingly enough, our contract with Comstar, which was written, as I mentioned, January 16th of 2000, I believe was a 1-year with a 1-year potential for a re-up. It was not an evergreen contract that I can see in any shape, and yet it hasn't been updated for almost 18 years. So we will keep a very close eye on that in the future with whomever we go with.
What's the effective date for or the start date for this contract?
There is no effective date as of yet.
Okay.
The RFPs are back. The RFP was clear that we would be making a decision. We will work for a reasonable and efficient and fast track, if possible, transition over between the two. We don't want to wind up having a lapse in revenue number one, and certainly we don't want to cause any confusion with any of our residents or people that have used our service.
So would the start of the fiscal year make sense, or is that too soon?
No, actually, I think that might be further out than I had hoped. I've
Okay.
been in contact with this organization, stating to them what I believe is the way we should go. However, it all depends on the vote of you folks this evening, and they understood that. They have provided a sample contract for review. We can go over that depending on what you vote this evening, and we can start this week working on that, and I can get you a better time frame. But I could see it possibly 30 days.
Okay, perfect.
So that percentage is percentage of collections. And do you have a sense, like in the last year or two, what the average collections are?
I don't off the top of my head. I can tell you that our private rates that we have set are very lucrative rates, for no better way of putting it. However, we understand, though, that insurance companies pay reasonable and customary off contract sometimes, not exactly what we would perhaps bill.
We
So-
budgeted 200,000, I think.
Yeah, it's in the couple $100,000
Revenue.
gross.
That was net of the 6% that they were taking.
Right,
So we're going to save 2% of that.
yes.
Yeah, a little more.
Which is, every dollar helps my budget, and it helps the town as well. In I suppose, the grand scheme of things, people would say 2%, what's that? Well, it does add up over time.
Yeah, it's
And with
a
a
fair
small
figure.
budget and a small
Yeah.
town, we need that.
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
you okay? Chris?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. I'll make a motion that
Thank
we
you.
award the ambulance billing and collection contract to Pro EMS Solutions.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, chief.
Thank you very much. Linda, you're up next. Two Brooks Preserve, status update.
Just a status update is that we're almost there to go public with the RFP. So we've been working on procurement, really, we've had it 95% ready to go, but in the last couple of months, a combination of technical issues, legal issues, administrative, it just has lots of details to be worked out. And so we're there, we're now at like 99%, we just have to straighten out a few of those things. So I hope within 2 weeks, but it's, again, we have a couple players here who have to have all their clocks aligned, but I hope within 2 weeks we'll have it out on the street. And then it's a 30-day minimum reply time from the date we get it out. It has to sync with some other things. But we'll be putting it on the central register, which is the required place. We'll be advertising it in local papers. We're going to put it out on Zillow so that people who are looking at the regular real estate listings will see it. We're going to have a little feature article, just a short one, but in the local paper so people know that's happening and understand what's going on. We're going to have a hard copy handouts here for someone who wants to go look at the property. They'll have a hard copy, but they'll also have everything online, so they can see the RFP and all the attachments, as well as all the maps and plans online, as well as here. And we'll take written questions if anything, comes up along the way. We've staked all the lots out there according to the engineered survey, and it shows not only the definitions of the two lots, but the locations of the sewer and well systems that have approved. You'll remember that these two lots are coming with permits from the planning board and permits from the Board of Health for an approved septic system and approved wells. So that's, both of those are time and money savers for potential buyers to, have in their pocket when they're looking at this. And of course, we think one of the biggest pluses is that whoever buys these is going to have 130 acres of conservation land right behind them. So, we've written this all up, and there's a lot of legal stuff that has to be, taken care of. So, that's all been drafted, and we're ready to go, and we just have to, we have to finalize a few of the things here and there, but
Great,
soon.
great.
Yeah,
It's exciting.
it is exciting. It is exciting.
Do you need anything from the board, or you're all set?
No, I think we're all set.
Okay, great.
Thank you. I'm working with Liz and our lawyer and getting all that done, and it seems to be, so far, fingers crossed, things seem to be going along smoothly, so we'll see. It's exciting to get it out there. And we did want to put it on Zillow so that it really got to the public, and, not just to people who are used to looking in the professional register.
Should be a
So,
good time, too.
yeah, the timing is good,
Yeah.
and they're beautiful. They are beautiful lots, so So, yeah, otherwise,
Congratulations.
yeah, let's, one step at a time here. Yeah, but, so, yeah, no, thank you for all your support, and we'll let you know as things go along.
Great.
Okay?
Appreciate it.
I can always give a plug that these 2 lots are helping to pay off the bond, and we have raised a little over 100,000, and our goal is at least 160. So all of you who have spare change around, you keep bottles and things, remember, $60,000 is still to be raised. We have some ideas, but that means that we get the right price on the lots, too. The lots are being fairly priced. We haven't settled that yet. They're competitively priced, and they'll be fair to the buyer as well as to the town. So that'll help us whittle away, but we still have some fundraising to do after the lots are purchased.
Done a great job so far.
And we want to get it done by November, so we don't want to renew the bond. No, we want this all done. So, yeah, so you'll be hearing more about that as time goes on. So.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
good. All right, thank you.
It's nice how this is actually amplifying voices now. This microphone,
Yeah.
yeah.
Finance Committee, I think, is on next, right?
Okay.
Would you mind coming up and so we can use the microphone? It just makes it so much better for the cable. You all can come up if you like.
They're shy.
Notice the support I get from the committee here. Noted for the record.
A good-looking group, though.
Good evening, folks.
Good evening, Nate.
We voted this evening on both the special town meeting warrant articles and the annual town meeting warrant articles, as well as the budget. Well, that's part of the annual town meeting anyway, so I don't know how you would like us to present it to you. I can just give you the bottom line, and we can go line by line, we can go section by section, however you prefer. I don't
I
know.
think in the past, we've done these article by article.
Yep.
And you give us your vote, and then we will vote too,
Okay.
so that we're in
So can we
sync.
get the bottom line first, just so
Oh, okay. Yeah.
we see where
Sure.
we're headed?
The bottom line for the budget, bear with me. The budget bottom line this year is $11,280,185, which is approximately a 3.5% increase over last year, total. The requests had come in slightly higher than that, and we whittled it down a little bit. The requested amount from the various departments and such came in at a 4.7% increase, and we were able to knock it down to 3.5%. For the warrant articles.
So, just
Sure.
a question.
Yep.
So how does that work with the levy limit? With the 2.5?
We are substantially under our maximum levy
I
limit.
understand
Yeah.
that, but assuming we were at the limit,
Yeah,
we would be over with this, right?
slightly over. Yeah, we have a target based on the amount that was raised last year, where we take that number and the town valuation, and we try to hold ourselves to a 2.5% increase. And we were able to get fairly close to that this year, depending on what the new valuation of the town will come in at, cherry sheet receipts and things like that are estimated at this point. But to answer your question, yeah,
Okay.
as of today, for what knowledge we have today, we would be slightly over the 2.5%.
Okay. Okay.
The effect on the tax rate at that?
I'm sorry?
The effect on the tax rate?
Well, again, we tried to keep, yeah, it depends on what the new valuations come in at.
Excuse me, we
Sure.
don't have a valuation for the town, we
Right.
don't know how much that's going up, we have no cherry sheet figures yet. There are still a lot of variables that go into computing the tax rate. I've done a a rough estimate on it, and Nate's right, we are a little over, but there's too many things that are gonna hopefully change in our favor and bring it back to closer to 2.5. That's our hope.
Okay.
So the warrant articles, special article number 1 was the police station equipment and such. We voted in favor of $35,000 for that.
Barbara, you're going to be giving us a list of where the monies are coming from, so that we'll know which ones...
I can
Oh,
do
okay.
that as we go if you prefer.
No, that'd be great, Nick.
Okay,
If you
sure.
could. Thanks.
Yep. The first several articles will be funded through a transfer from leftover group insurance
Great.
funds voted from last year. So that includes that $35,000.
All right, I'll make a motion that the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 1.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The second special article was for unpaid bills from fiscal 18 in the amount of $6,897. We voted in favor of that.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 2.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 3 was, and again, until further notice, these are all being funded by that same group insurance line. Article 3 was a transfer towards our OPEB liability. We voted in favor of $30,000, the amount for that. In the past, you'll recall, past couple of years anyway, we've tried to throw $20,000 towards that, but we thought we would increase it slightly this year because we were able to.
Okay.
So $30,000 this year.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 3.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 4 was the town building maintenance account. We voted to transfer $10,000 or to fund that $10,000.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 4.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 5 is renovations to the existing townhouse. Specifically, I believe the existing police section, wing. We voted in favor of $20,000 for that.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 5.
Second? All those in favor? Aye.
Article 6 was from the fire department for the purchase of 3 multi-gas meters. It was 3, yes, sir?
Yep.
3 multi-gas meters. We voted in favor of $3,000 for that.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 6.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 7 was, again, from the fire department for the purchase of 2 thermal imaging camera units. We voted in favor, $6,000.
Make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 7.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 8 is fire department for billing software and hardware tablets for the ambulance billing services. We voted in favor, $7,000.
Make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 8.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Article 9 is the library repairs to the doors and to make it more accessible for...
Make it compliant.
Make it more accessible. We voted in favor of $9,000 for that.
Make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 9.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 10 is $30,000 for the fire department for repairs and renovations to the fire station. This amount is being funded by the sale of the town equipment, the fire engine that we sold previously in the year. So we voted in favor of $30,000 for that.
Make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 10.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
These next 3 items are all taken as one account, but they were listed separately, so we voted on them separately. The 3 items are being funded by monies being returned from the vocational education account. So we considered it 11A, B, and C. So 11A is the Special Ed Reserve Fund, $7,000. This will This is the contingency fund for special ed expenses, unforeseen. This maxes us out at that, the maximum amount that we're allowed to fund by law. We voted in favor, $7,000. 11B was the copy machine for $8,500. We voted in favor of that. And then lastly, it's on the chart. It's,
Okay, yeah.
It's one article, yeah. And then
one
we
We
and
just
then
lost it on the.
11C is
Oh.
It goes to the next page.
is the repairs
Ours
to the.
doesn't.
Oh.
That's all right. We've seen it before.
Oh, okay, all right.
Oh, okay.
I think this is the one that I printed.
There's a chart, I
Okay.
think,
Yeah.
or it sounded like a
Perfect,
table.
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Mine's fine.
So all three
matters.
items listed on the chart were voted as
Okay.
written. So $10,000 for the repairs to the
Would we
roof.
do it in
Oh, they
its
have it.
entirety?
Okay, so this was all being transferred from VOCAD?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, I'll make a motion that we recommend Article 11.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
So the bottom line number for the special town meeting articles is $182,397.
All from group health.
127,000 is from group health, and then
Okay.
55 is from the VOCAD.
Okay,
That's great.
that is great. Okay.
For the annual town meeting articles, the majority of them are coming from free cash. There are others that we'll mention as we go along.
Okay.
Article 5 was the financial audits for fiscal 19, $33,000. We voted in favor of that.
All right, I'll make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 5.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Article 6 was fiber optic cabling for the campus here. We voted in favor, $20,000 for that.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 6.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 7, the new police cruiser lease-to-own program, $13,000. We voted in favor of that.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 7.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 9 is road construction from the Highway Department. The amount requested was $200,000. We voted in favor of that.
We skipped over 8.
I didn't think 8 was a,
You guys recommended it,
we did?
yeah.
No, that's highlighted because they haven't voted
Oh.
yet. Do you normally take a vote on that, or no?
I don't have it in front of me. What is it?
It's Chapter 90.
So there is no amount yet, we don't know. I don't
We
think.
don't,
So you don't
You don't-
normally
we
vote
don't,
on
we don't
that.
vote on
So-
that.
Okay.
So
No,
we don't
sorry.
vote on that either then?
Yeah, we don't vote on that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Does Selectmen want to vote on that?
We probably should, though, because
Okay.
the highway reports
All right,
to.
I'll make a motion that the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 8.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Might as well do 9.
Okay, so 9 was $200,000.
9 was
for road
$200,000.
construction?
We approved, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 9.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 10 is a new dump truck for the Public Works Department. It's a lease-to-own program. We approved $17,000 for the initial lease payment on a 4 or 5 year program. It's coming from the capital fund.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 10.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 11 is the Community Preservation Fund allocations totaling $100,000. We voted in favor of that, coming from CPC funds.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 11.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 12 for the school playground upgrade and renovations, coming from 2 accounts within the CPC. We voted $94,000 total for that article.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 12.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 13, open space land acquisition, again from the CPC, $30,000. We voted in favor of that.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 13.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
We did not vote on 14. I don't know if that's,
Okay, so we'll still need to, yeah. Okay, I'll make a motion that the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 14, which is clarification of the wage and personnel bylaw.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 15 was the interim property value valuation filed by the assessors. We do it all the time. $2,000 we approved, and that's, again, coming from free cash.
I'll make a motion, Board of Selectmen recommend Article 15.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Similarly, Article 16 is the real property valuation from the assessors, $2,500, again, from free cash. We voted in favor.
Make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 16.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The next one we voted on was Article 27, so I don't know if you...
Okay, so,
Ahead of the zoning ones and go back, or do you want to take those up now?
well, do we have to do Article 4 as well, which is the
Yeah,
budget?
you have to do all of them except for number 1.
Okay, so,
Do you want to,
But number 4 is still in flux, is that true or not?
that's the
We
budget.
finalized the budget this evening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're good with it, so...
So
I don't know
why
if you
don't we
wanna
skip over the zoning for now and come back, rather
Okay.
than hold them up?
Yeah.
okay, well, can
But
we
we-
vote Article 4?
Yeah,
So we've got that one done? Okay, so I'll make a motion.
well, we haven't seen it yet.
No, we haven't seen it. I don't know when, because we need to vote on these tonight, don't we?
Yes. Yeah, this was the number, he gave you the bottom line, and he had asked if you wanted him to go section by section, or he gave you
Right.
the bottom line was
So
the
it's
11,000.
3.5% increase.
Yeah.
Want us to print out
Over.
copies, and you can, or do you want to put it on the screen, or how would you like to?
Or do we just want to vote it and then we'll take it up later? I'd say we vote it and then obviously it'll be up for discussion as we go through town meeting
Yeah.
anyways.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
we're happy to discuss any of it here if you have
Okay.
a specific question that you know of. We're, whatever your preference is.
Okay.
So,
What do you feel like you need?
You want to see it?
I wouldn't mind taking a quick look.
Yeah.
I hate to do that.
No, that's
but,
Can we put it up on the screen? Or is that going to take longer? Probably.
Are you already tied in? Can you just bring it up on your?
I can try.
why don't
So we
we
did last time,
continue
What, yeah,
while you're doing that?
okay,
Continue with this
continue.
annual town meeting? Okay.
Yep,
So we're skipping the zoning articles.
Right.
So the next one, again, the next one we had, I believe, the next one we had to vote on was Article 27.
okay, let's just take a peek.
Which would be page 34, I
Okay.
think, on ours. I'm sorry to do that.
No, that's,
Just seems like we ought to take a peek.
no, we'd feel better if you look at it too.
Planning board, okay. All right, so 30, okay, Article 27.
Article
okay.
27 is the fire command vehicle. Again, it's a lease-to-own program over 4. We budgeted 4 years, but it may be longer depending on how it all specs out.
Okay,
Total amount requested was $68,000. 65 we added in, I think, a little bit for, no, yeah, 68, I'm sorry. We budgeted $18,000, again, from the capital fund in favor this year.
all right, I'll make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 27.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 28 is the ongoing fire department vehicle leases for the existing fleet. $48,903 from the capital fund. We voted in favor.
I'll make a motion that the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 28.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mark, you?
Oh, aye, sorry.
Article 29 is personal protective equipment, ongoing program to help replace turnout gear and necessary safety equipment and such. This is coming from free cash this year, $15,000. We voted in favor, sorry.
Make a motion that we recommend Article 29.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 30 was the establishment of the account to handle the cable.
Cable Access Fund.
Thank you.
Area 58.
Thank you.
Okay.
$70,000. It's listed as a transfer because it'll be offset by
Additional revenue.
Yeah.
Okay.
what she said.
Okay. I'll make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 30.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 31 is the Plympton portion of the Silver Lake Middle School Resource Officer. We voted in favor of $14,000 from free cash.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 31.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's been approved by the other towns too, right?
I'm not sure. I know Halifax was, it's only us in Halifax, first of all.
Okay, okay.
for
Oh,
this-
that's right, yeah,
Would you like some information?
Sure.
sure.
It's a town-by-town individual article, so if ours passes, that $14,000 will be allocated towards hours for a school resource officer for the middle school on campus in Silver Lake, regardless of how the other towns vote. Kingston
okay.
was not on that warrant because they already fully fund a full-time officer
Right.
out of their own
Mhm.
pocket, and Halifax can do what Halifax will do.
Okay. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you. Article 32, the bylaw codification ongoing project, $2,000 from free cash. We voted in favor.
All right, I'll make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 32.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then lastly, Article 33 was the Council on Aging van to replace the existing van. Again, lease-to-own program. Total estimated cost somewhere in the neighborhood of $45,000. We approved $12,000 from capital to start the ball rolling on that.
Okay.
You're going to have to make the motion on this one.
So I make a motion that we accept Article 33 as written. Need a second? No?
I'm not going to recommend this article.
Okay.
I think I'm also not going to recommend this article.
I think I would really like for us to apply for a grant for best practices and figure out if this is what the town needs. There's other options out there with grants from the state and LIFT, and I just don't know if purchasing a van is what's in the best interest of Plympton. I know we need something, but I don't know if this is the answer. And I just hate to lock into this without us doing our due diligence to find out if this is really the best fit for the town. There might be something else that's a better fit, but we haven't really looked at it.
Okay.
Yeah, I also totally support that we will, at some point, hopefully next year, need a new van. I would much prefer kind of creative, ideas on how to fund this in terms of fundraising or grants or some kind of special arrangement. And I'm not sure that work's been done yet. I hope there's a better article next year that we can approve.
My only concern is that we need something where it's not accessible by wheelchairs, and
Right.
that's the biggest concern I have.
Yeah.
But if you're willing, then I would say that we make a recommendation against this article.
Okay. I'll second the motion to not recommend this article.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Just so you're aware on this, I had received clarification from town council last year. When it's a negative vote in the warrant, it's still going to print in the affirmative. So it will say recommended by BOS 03.
Okay.
Just so you know, it's not a
No,
typo.
I know, we had a big discussion at town meeting. Okay. Okay,
I think that's it for warrant articles. The bottom line for that was $691,403. Now, that includes the $12,000 for the van, so you
Right.
could back that out, make it $679,403,
okay.
of which 301 is from free cash. Approximately 96 is from capital expense fund, and then the remaining 224 is from the CPC. So,
So none of these,
distinct disadvantage, because I don't have my glasses on, so I'll trust you to read that properly.
none of those articles then are raise and appropriate.
None of them are raise and appropriate.
There is no, other than the 70,000 for the Area 58, that one kind of is, but it's offset by an increase in the revenue.
Right, okay, yeah.
Do you want me to scroll this way so that there's not, no, this way, so that there's not so many columns, so that you're just looking at the one in question? Is that better?
Yeah, because that's got the increase.
So it's right here.
But it might be helpful to have fiscal
Yeah,
Do you want
19.
to have it if we need to go back, but just for ease of reading purposes?
I'd like to see 18 if we, just, oh, I see, you have to.
Yeah,
oh,
I just
okay.
thought
Oh,
maybe
okay.
if there's any that you have a question on.
When this is printed, is this going to be the layout, or are you going to take out some columns, or how are you going to?
It would be too, the print would be too small if we left all those columns.
Right, I agree, I just wondering. So would ATM go away, those two columns?
Yeah, that we just.
Yeah, that's just,
That's
we
for
just
their
use that
use.
for record keeping at
Okay,
town meeting.
okay.
Yeah, that column, those columns will be hidden.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, do we want to just run through it? So insurance premiums is up 1%, is that correct?
Yes, 1.6.
All right, and these are numbers we've already received, isn't it, for insurance? It's not estimates.
The premiums are, those are,
Those are the insurance premiums that, for the bills that'll come in July 1st for the buildings and whatnot.
yeah.
Yeah, so those are pretty solid numbers. Okay, those aren't estimates, okay. Yeah, the county pension, you've got that number from them already, so
Yep.
that's firm.
The one, you'll notice we did take a substantial amount away from group health based on historical data. We had been budgeting, close to $500,000, $450,000 to $500,000, but the last year that we had actual bills for was fiscal 18, and it was only $350,000 expended. So we decided to, reflect that a little bit in what we budgeted for this year.
That makes sense.
That's the reason for the 14% decrease.
Is Medicare a given, or is that still in flux?
That's a fluctuating figure too, that's a good guesstimate based on a couple of years, because that's based on the payroll.
Okay,
That's the payroll tax that we have to pay for Medicare.
I got
So
you.
we don't know what that'll be until any given year.
Right.
So we increased it by the, 4 1/4 that pretty much everybody got.
Okay.
conservation agent is highlighted for a reason, or?
It's a new item, so that's more for my own personal use as I go through to prepare
see.
my cover letter to go with
Okay.
this.
Okay.
That's just so I remember to mention it during the cover letter.
So that's a new item.
That's a new item. That was the Conservation Commission had appeared before us and requested an agent. They've been mentioning it for a couple of years now, given all that's going on. I'm glad I'm not the only one that can't read.
Thanks. So that, theoretically, that's going to be covered by revenue as they do these
They
projects?
anticipate about $7,000 or $8,000, so approximately
Okay,
40%.
So So in the fees that they're charging? Okay.
Correct.
All right, so the next big one is the COA support staff. That's just a couple of, is that drivers or is that some staff for here?
It's both.
Okay.
So it's an increase in amount for the drivers primarily.
Okay.
But again, it's actually, it's 4.4% over the last year. It is quite a bit up from fiscal 18.
Okay.
The hours for the driver were changed in that time frame also.
Yep.
Okay.
From 25 to 30.
The FinCom, the 20% increase there is printing costs and postage. You know, we get hit hard last year, and it's going to be worse this year, given the size of the warrant that we have to send out.
Why did the planning board budget go down?
They've never used it.
Okay,
And they didn't turn in a request.
okay.
You'll notice there are several items that are like that. Agriculture Commission, we left them in at $100. They've always been budgeted at $500. They've never used it, so we left it in there as kind of a placeholder in case
Okay.
they need something, but we took the opportunity in several cases to clean some of those up.
Makes sense. All right, looks good.
So the next section is assessors. We had some discussion on this evening. They had requested 23 and change, and there was not a lot of documentation to back that up. They only had documentation on there for about $5,000 of the 23. So we looked at last year's request and we carried over some of that. So there was a request in there for both needed classes for the staff to become certified, but then they also were requesting wages for the time to take the classes. And we felt that that was best handled out of the support staff line, and if they wanted to change their schedule for that particular week, if they were taking a class on the weekend, or if they were attending a conference or something, they maybe could adjust their schedule. So we left the salary line the same. We paid for the classes themselves, the tuition and whatnot, but we did remove the additional payroll from that request. We didn't think that was a true expense. It was more better handled out of the salary line, which is 168.
I know this is a little controversial, but the 1,500, I
It's in
know it
there.
was in as an article, it's now in here? Okay.
It's in
Yeah.
the expense line.
Okay. Okay.
FinCom felt we should not go against the town's will if the town voted for it last year, even though we still don't feel it's appropriate and we to approve it.
Okay.
Next section is town clerk. Every section is down primarily because of the relative fewer number of elections and events that are going on this year versus previous year. The salary line was also changed a little bit in anticipation of someone coming in to take the job that maybe does not have the same experience level and training as the prior town clerk.
I assume all these salary lines are approved by wage and personnel?
Yes, they've all gone through wage and
Okay.
personnel, and Liz also took a look at them to make sure that they were all in line with the process.
Sure, great.
Accountant and treasurer section is primarily 4.25% increases due to wage and personnel increases.
So that 4.3 is just a roundup?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The next section is your section. The largest change is the expense line. That is the seed money, if you will, for the grant writer that you had spoken about. So there's a $5,000, and it's basically level funded, adding in an amount to fund your grant writer.
And where would that come through? The selectmen's expense?
It's on the
Okay.
expense line. Yeah,
Gotcha.
235. The other change is the two lines that are highlighted there. We tried to get a handle on supplies for the buildings, so we divided the town building line into, we have a building line for maintenance and such, and then we have a building supply line for the, paper towels.
Can we call
and
that
such.
town buildings maintenance? Or is there something else that's,
Well, we have the town maintenance account that we funded with the 10,000, we put the 10, so we didn't
I see,
want to make it
okay.
confusing,
No,
so
that's
we
it.
left it as,
okay, Yep.
if you want to call it something else, I'm open to it, but we didn't want to call it maintenance because there's that other article
get
that
you.
we call
I get you.
maintenance. So.
So Liz, can we go back to custodial?
Yep.
So that is just Steve's hours here, correct?
He has 5 extra hours for the new police station
Okay,
in next year's budget.
Okay.
So that's why that's
okay, gotcha.
increased.
Right. And then town council, we increased by $10,000 just as a reflection of the reality of what's seems to be going on, so. Board of Health is level funded with the exception of the support staff, and they got the wage and personnel increase. They must have got an extra hour too. Is that right, Liz?
Correct. Yes.
Public Works is mostly, again, the wage and personnel increase of 4.25%. There was a $1,500 increase, or excuse me, $1,250 increase to the equipment and maintenance line. Other than that, everything was level funded.
is that what he asked for? Or was it reduced to that?
The 8,000?
No, just, I mean, everything being level funded,
There were a few lines where they requested a little bit extra for overtime costs
okay,
that FinCom opted to decrease somewhat.
okay.
Personal property is pretty much level funded.
Liz, if we, with the animal control
Yeah.
budget, does that, would we be in line with what our plan is to enter an agreement with Kingston with
I
that?
think we would be okay as far as the expense item.
Okay,
But I think there needs to be a little more back and forth first on that contract, so
yeah,
later on in the meeting, I was gonna
Perfect.
recommend that we hold that
Okay.
until the May meeting.
okay, sounds good.
Building department, the administrative assistant is increasing by 31%, primarily due to increased number of hours. We had approved an additional 5 hours in February or so. It wasn't reflected in last year's budget, so that is reflected this time. So that's the reason for that increase there. Plumbing and gas is just a reflection of the increased number of permits that have been pulled and such.
Mhm.
And same with the building inspector.
So the administrative assistant is in there at 4.25, I assume?
That's correct.
Okay.
Fire department. We went over this with the chief and Barbara and Liz and myself. I think it's all, pretty self-explanatory. We did break out again, in the interest of trying to be consistent and transparent. We did try to break out the utility line for the fire building. You'll see, we're doing the same thing for the police department. And we've tried to do it for the other town buildings as well, just to try to give the town an idea of, where certain things stand. So that's the reason that's highlighted.
Okay. So Chief, you need any clerical help?
We've combined that into Captain Schusted's position that he has right now.
Okay.
As soon as he's able to give me a consistent schedule as far as a FTE, he will be doing that. He's working on some childcare issues, and that'll be part of his normal job description.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Police department, we did vote the amount that you requested earlier this evening for the incoming police chief. Everything else, I believe, is just budgeted labor increases. But again, you'll see that the police station utility line is a projected line for the new station.
So are these utility lines, were they being paid out of the town maintenance account?
No, some are being paid out of the town utilities account that's
Okay.
managed under the purview of the Board of Selectmen. And then for others, some of those individual departments, like those buildings, were paying their own. So it was kind of confusing.
Okay.
So we thought it better to just group it out by department.
So it just would have been mixed in with the budget?
Yes.
So this just calls it out. Perfect.
Veterans Department, again, level funded with the exception of the increase in the stipend for the veterans agent. Library, pretty much the same. And then the school department were approved as presented by the school superintendent.
Just one comment on that. We did hear tonight that we do have one opening. So, we always have that issue that April 1st is when people have to sign up for vote. So there is a buffer there of one opening in vote. We don't recommend any changes because you could have someone move in during the year. But over working with FinCom the last 2 years, we've tried to trim that down. But we're not currently slated to spend all of that for next year as we sit here in late April.
Yeah, just for reference purposes, back in fiscal 18, we had budgeted $225,000, so we've almost cut it in half over the
Okay.
last couple of years as a reflection of what Mr. Williamson was referring to. And then the rest of it is, I think, pretty self-explanatory. The reserve fund, we did, if you recall, last year, we had made an attempt to index it as a percentage of the overall budget, so that's the reason it went up slightly this year, because it's targeted to be 0.75% of the total budget, rounded off to a nice clean number, so that's why it wound up at 84. And we've made a pretty sizable dent in that this fiscal year.
Yeah, where do you stand? Yeah, pretty well.
We are about $6,000 remaining out of 80. So.
Okay,
Looks good.
thank
All
you.
right, so are we ready to vote on Article 4?
Yes.
All right, I'll make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 4.
I have one thing, but I'll discuss it on the floor. I'll go along with it for
Okay.
now.
So you
Second?
second? Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye. All right, thank you very much.
Sorry to make you go through that, but I'm glad
That was
to
a lot
have
of good
seen it to-
information.
We're here
yeah.
for it.
No, no.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why you get the big bucks.
All right, so we still have to do all the zoning.
Yeah.
Go back to Article 2 and 3.
And can we just acknowledge and thank the Finance Committee? This is a year's, and Liz, it's a year's worth of work, and it's the first year that you guys have kind of worked together, and it seems like it's really worked out. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely helpful
Yeah.
to have Liz's assistance with
That's great.
running interference for us, so we appreciate that.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Should be an interesting town meeting.
That always is.
Thanks,
Good
Lisa.
night.
We wanted a boring town meeting, didn't we?
Oh, boy.
Maryland 658, did you?
Someday, maybe.
All right.
So can we go back to number 2?
Sure.
So we're on the annual
Number
Article
2.
2.
And that is to vote,
Town treasurer.
yeah, into compensating balance agreements. All right, do we have any questions about it?
No.
Okay, I'll make a motion that the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 2.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then number 3 is just the wage and personnel chart.
We don't normally do that, do we?
Do you not normally, I thought that you would do all of them because it's your warrant, but
We haven't in the past.
do you
But I'm not sure about this one. Did we do it?
The wage and personnel.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's your warrant, so.
All right, I'll make a motion that we recommend Article 3.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so we did 4 already.
So we're back to 17.
Okay.
So I never officially received the planning board report on any of these, but from my understanding of it, they voted in favor. With the exception of the solar ones, they had continued their hearing. So they're going to have to give their reports orally at town meeting.
Okay.
All right. So 17 is the bylaw review committees.
Yes.
Schedule of uses. All right, I'll make a motion that the board recommend Article 17.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
18 is the new definitions.
Can I request this one to be read into the record?
Sure.
No. Sorry. Couldn't resist. Sorry.
There's always one. All right, so I'll make a motion that we recommend Article 18.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
19 is the building height.
What page?
18.
Page
Okay.
18.
All right. So Article 19 is, the building height. I'll make a motion that the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 19.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
20 is the marijuana.
And those, all those little things we found have all been corrected. Okay. All right, I'll make a motion that the board recommend Article 20.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
21 are the marijuana
On
definitions.
page 27.
Okay. I'll make a motion that the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 21.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
22 is relative to the floodplain.
I'll make a motion that the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 22.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye. So one of these will be passed over, Article 20?
23 will be passed over if 22 passes.
Okay. But 22 doesn't give us the ability to do a boardwalk, does it?
Linda said she was fine with it because it says, or any municipal recreation or conservation project.
Okay. Okay. All right, I'll make a motion, the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 23.
Well, are we
So it's,
recommending?
well, it's an either or, so if 22 passes, then we pass
Then we'll
over
pass over.
23. If 22 fails, then we go to 23.
All right. So I'll second Article 23. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
24 and 25, the planning board continued the public hearing, so I would say you might be better off not
Yeah, we
taking a
could
vote.
recommend it on town meeting floor, couldn't we?
You could.
If needed.
I don't know if you want to hold off on that one, just where they haven't concluded the
When
public,
does this have to go to printing, Lenny?
like tomorrow.
So we're not going to
Wednesday.
have a recommendation
No,
in
we
time.
wouldn't.
Yeah,
And we don't have their recommendation
We won't
either.
have theirs either.
Okay, so that's going to just be scratched.
we don't want to vote on an article that we don't know what the article says.
Right, okay.
So I'll just get rid of those, the
Okay.
recommended part altogether.
All right, so no recommendation on 24 or 25.
Right.
Okay.
And then 26 is not a zoning change, but this is to create a registration and maintenance of foreclosed properties section of the general bylaws. And this was put forth by the bylaw review committee, namely Alan Wheelock and Tom Milius.
Okay.
Okay.
So bylaw review committee and building commissioner recommended.
Yes, they're the
Bylaw.
proponents.
Okay, so we're the only ones recommending it.
Right, because it's
Alright.
not a zoning one, so it doesn't go to
Gotcha.
planning board.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, I'll make a motion, the selectmen recommend Article 26.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye. Okay. So I think that's it, isn't it?
Yes, and then if you could just take 2 formal votes to sign both the annual town meeting warrant and the special town meeting warrant.
Want to make a motion?
What's the story with this placeholder article?
That, I have to delete tomorrow. I had told the Board of Assessors I would keep that there pending FinCom's vote on their expense
Gotcha,
budget.
so they just,
That's to
they
cover the.
built it in?
Yes.
Okay, all right,
So that will be deleted tomorrow.
okay, okay. So you
you're gonna make the
need a motion to,
sign special town meeting warrant.
I'll make a motion that we sign the special town meeting warrant.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then a motion on the
I'll make a
annual.
motion that we sign the annual town meeting warrant.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Probably should be doing it in black.
So you just need 2 copies, or do you need 3? Is there a third one here too? Or is that just mine?
Those are just extra sheets from the printout.
Okay,
The town clerk creates true copies when she has the constable come in and
Okay.
sign.
great, thank you. There's your 2 copies. All right,
You know what, forgive me, can I see those again? I think I signed one of those differently than it's written. I want to redo that. This would be,
Which
You've got
page
your middle
number's at the
initial?
bottom?
yeah, just, I,
Do you want to
just,
do a new one?
I do.
That's good anyway, because then John's will be in black.
Yeah,
okay,
Yeah,
me
so
do
we
it.
do
Okay, so-
that.
yeah.
Sorry.
no worries.
So this one,
We can discard.
Oh, yep, there you go. Thank you. All right,
Oh, wait, that was, you signed 2 of annual. We need a special printout.
son of a gun.
I might have one that's not.
want me to do correspondence?
Sure.
Yeah, well-
Mr. Chairman?
Gentlemen, do you want to chat with us? No, just enjoying the
Raining
action.
out, why not?
Yeah, where else would you want to be? All right,
Okay.
good catch.
We have on here the animal shelter services.
I think we should hold that until the May 6th meeting.
Okay.
Christine had identified several edits, and then when I went into the document to make those edits, I found more edits. So I had communicated with Chief Dillon earlier today, and he indicated that there was no rush. If we
Perfect.
want to put it off until May 6th. I wanted a little more time to, just to read through it, even for my own knowledge. It's
Okay.
kind of rushed.
This is a great thing, though.
Yeah,
It is a
it'll
really
be
good
great.
thing. It
God,
is a
we've
really
been
good
needing this
thing.
for a long time.
And the document was already vetted by Kingston's legal counsel.
Perfect.
so-
Great.
Let me just finish up the warrants, since it's on the list, and then we'll go to correspondence.
Okay.
So we have totals of $299,538.59 for bills for the police station next door. And we have utilities of $6,507.03. Those are the ones.
Okay.
Okay, correspondence.
We have a thank you letter from K-9 Oliver Lenatra's family, and also from the Kingston Police Department. They're just expressing their gratitude for the nice display that was put on by members of our community, including our police and fire departments, when the late K-9 passed through the town in the procession. So it was a very nice, handwritten letter.
Isn't that nice?
So if you want to
Yeah,
pass that around. And I thought maybe we could put it on display here, or at least circulate it to police and fire, so that they
great.
know that their efforts were appreciated.
Nice thought.
Yeah, very nice.
I have the finalized employment contract. So I would recommend that the board take a vote to execute the employment contract with the town accountant, Barbara Gomez, and formally announce and ratify the vote that you took during the executive session on April 8th, 2019, thereby extending the town accountant's employment term through December 31st, 2022. And I have that here. Barbara's already signed.
Perfect.
Okay. So you need a motion to formally,
I would take a vote to basically ratify the vote that you took during executive session, just to make it official and put it on the record in open session.
Okay.
All right, do you want me to make that vote since you're doing the minutes? Okay, I'll make a motion that we ratify the agreement that, for employment, that we negotiated with Mrs. Gomez to serve as the town accountant.
Second. All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Are we doing something with this?
You can sign the bottom of that. I guess that was the format that hers was always in, from what she said. And then we have basically the same type of vote, but this one is with the treasurer collector. Same thing from the executive session on April 8th, 2019, and it extends the term of her employment through December 31st of 2022.
I'll make a motion that we vote to ratify the agreement that we agreed to with Mrs. Moran to serve as the treasurer collector.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 We have a letter here from Mr. David Zioli from 26 Thomas Blanchard Drive regarding maintenance of the retention pond in that vicinity. We actually turned this particular letter, a copy of it, to the town clerk's office, since the way that this was done, it was a formal public records request. So it's been forwarded to the town clerk's office for official response. Other than the initial correspondence with him and the letter that we had sent him a while back, we do not have any other records that are pertinent to his request.
Okay.
So we can work with the town clerk's office over the next few days to
Yeah,
make sure
she's
that a
got 10
response
days,
is
so,
going out
yeah.
Right.
and so on. We have an invitation here for the board and myself to the Old Colony Planning Council 52nd Annual Meeting being held on May 9th. So if you're interested in that, if you want to let me know, we can get tickets.
I'm going.
Chicken or fish?
Chicken. And there's actually an interesting speaker this year. It's a gentleman from Makepeace. That's, and they're the largest landowner in, might maybe even be the state. I'm not sure if it's just Plymouth County or the state, but yeah, so it should be interesting.
We have a notice from Old Colony Planning Council about public comment period. They have released the 2020 to 2024 Transportation Improvement Program Plan. The Winnetoxet Bridge is actually on the draft of that plan, but not programmed for funding until 2024. So it might be worthwhile if we put together a formal letter and
Sure.
send it in saying that we'd like that project not only to remain on there, but to move up. So I can work on that if
Yeah,
you're so
and
inclined.
find out what we need to do to keep it, I'm not sure if we have to do anything. Do we have to do a tip or anything with that?
No, so it's on there now, but what I found in prior experience, sometimes things sit on there for years.
They can.
The last place that I had left, there was a project that had been on there since 1997. So it's good, it's a good first step that it's at least
Yeah.
on there. But if another project isn't ready, then sometimes they can kind of shuffle things around and
Okay.
put you in, so I think we should respond.
Mhm.
And then Plympton Halifax Express, a very nice write-up about the town cleanup day that's coming up on Saturday, April 27th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
And where should people meet that want to participate?
Townhouse, I think.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Park at the townhouse, and they'll
Okay.
be all around.
That was the only piece of news about Plympton.
Your update?
So the application was filed with the state for the Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness Program, or what's called MVP. And they did include the letters of support that we received. John had signed on behalf of the Selectmen, but we also had letters from Highway, Police, Fire, Health, Conservation, Open Space, and the Planning Board. So hopefully we get some good news on that. And then similar but different funding source, we filed an application with Mass Emergency Management for funding for local hazard mitigation planning assistance. So we're waiting to hear on that. That one I think is very competitive, though. They said that they got applications from almost every place in the Commonwealth, so I don't know if we'll see anything from that or not. I'm also working with Old Colony Planning Council on a regional energy planning assistance grant, and that would enable Lisa Sullivan to continue her good work with me kind of on the reporting side of the Green Communities project. She's been really tremendous as far as helping out with all the reporting requirements from the prior years. So this funding would basically take the place of some existing funding that's been in place for several years, what was called a meta grant, and I apologize, I don't know what the acronym stands for on that. But it would be to replace the meta grant, which is going away. So hopefully we can secure funding for that. And then tomorrow we kick off our internal meeting with some department heads to go over various town operations and preparedness and kind of what the synergy should be with all the different town departments. So I think that'll be good.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
The campus master plan, have we seen anything? Do we know when we're gonna
I
finally?
have a draft of it. I think that they've been evaluating all the incoming grant applications though, so I can send something to Old Colony and just find out when we're getting that final draft. I know they finished it, but
Okay.
we just haven't received it yet.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Do we want to go through goals?
So what are we thinking for the process? We're gonna get a draft and then have that reviewed and comment from around. I'd actually been approached by the church, because they thought that I was doing that.
Because you do everything else.
And just because of, we have the land behind there that they use for parking, but it's also our land, but we use it to get to the parking. And so my comment was, I don't think we have anything yet, but when we do, I'm sure there will be plenty of opportunity to talk and review and
Absolutely.
make sure to, when that happens, to make sure that everyone gets together.
Yep.
Because we're looking to do comprehensive planning for this whole space.
Right.
Exactly. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow morning at the meeting. That's one of the subjects. Long-range master plan, funny. So we will, I think once we get it, at least we'll have something that we can focus on. Yeah. Grant
Yes, sir.
acquisition, we're holding off until the new fiscal year with the lady from Monterey. But hopefully that'll go forward.
Well, in the meantime, do we want to look at some possible grants for like best practices? I found an interesting one online today about, it was transportation, it was focused on senior transportation and their changing needs, and that might be something that would be
I think,
good.
yes,
look
absolutely,
at.
right.
And I think the deadline for that was, might have been August, but, yeah, I'd be happy to apply for that.
Great.
And then there was also grants through mass.gov with transportation for focusing on seniors. So there's a couple out there that are current. I think the Mass.gov one was due sooner than the best practices. But I could take a look at those and forward them off to you guys
Great.
and see which would be the best fit for us to, because it'd be nice to start the ball rolling. I mean, I don't want to just say no and not have a plan.
Right.
That we're actually working on something to determine what's
Right.
the best way for us to go. Okay.
I think we also need to take a look at the technology one. I think we got a grant for the 50,000, a little less. We've skipped a year and now we're re-eligible.
Okay.
So,
I saw that one posted as well.
yeah. So I'll take a look at that with Liz and see if
Okay,
we
the
can
community
figure out something there.
compact? Okay.
Yeah. Continue professionalization of town, general and financial operations. I think we've been moving forward on that. I think partly the whole process we did this year with the budget, the town administrator focusing. Now we have to do, I think the second piece is to get the reporting going. That's what we've, so I'm raising my hand with Liz. Volunteer outreach, strengthen town committees, boards, and commissions. With Tara leaving, that's been hard, because it's created a vacuum with the whole process we had around the reports that she was doing. So probably we should take some time and just brainstorm it again.
We might need to find a champion
Yeah,
for this,
that'd be great.
because it's so important for some of these committees to have people kind of in the wings that are working their way through appropriate channels to go to ZBA, that have been on planning board or, other committees, so that there's not a void when someone leaves, that, we kind of have people in the wings, besides the same people who do everything else. But,
John would probably like that.
yeah. Somebody to give John a break on a committee?
Affordable housing?
Oh,
I think that's kind of waiting for the master plan.
yeah, I think it is waiting for the master plan, because that was going to be a component of our master
Right.
plan, was to be looking at some affordable housing opportunities. Okay. I also saw a grant for that.
Town administrators' goals, well, they focus in on ours, and I think at the management meeting, we're going to talk a little about how that overlaps. Continue protecting town's natural resources. We had the water issue that Letty brought in, and
Yeah, that
We're
committee,
supporting-
I think, meets for the first time next week. We'll get started on that.
that's great.
Mhm.
And encourage fiscally sound governance. I think that's wrapped up in everything we're doing. Partly the financial budget process, the capital plan. We do have to get the capital plan, the 5-year capital plan next on our agenda with the finance committee, because they're also the
Right.
capital committee. Okay, we've done correspondence, dates to remember. May 6th is our next meeting. We don't have another executive session planned, do we?
We don't.
Okay.
On May 6th, Brian Wick is planning to come in, Brian Wick.
Okay,
And Nate and Barbara, and we'll go over all the motions.
okay, great. Yeah, we'll assign who's gonna
Yes.
raise their hand. Okay, great.
I'm going to be out of town
May 6th.
May 6th.
How about you, Mark?
I'm here.
Okay.
So please don't sign me up for everything.
Getting all the motions.
That's usually how it works.
Should we consider the next night instead?
Well, actually, I'm going to Ireland, and I won't be
Ooh.
back until the 8th. So I leave on the
Hey.
1st. But, yeah, I mean, sign me up for anything. I don't mind.
We'll tell you what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Why don't we video chat? We'll do a video meeting.
Good.
I'll be at a pub. Okay.
Cleanup Day is April 27th, which is this Saturday, which will be great. Annual and special town meeting, May 15th, a Wednesday. Boy, it's coming quick.
Sure is.
And then, great, we got a plant sale and the strawberry shortcake race on the Saturday following, May 18th. Okay, we have,
What about the call out again for the open house for the police station Saturday before the 11th?
that's
10
great.
o'clock, I think.
Yeah,
10 a.m.,
yep,
May 11th.
yep.
See this building.
May 11th,
Okay.
I think we're gonna have a good-sized crowd. I think
I
we're
think so
gonna,
too.
because all the various police organizations, I think, will wanna see it, and
Right.
a lot of residents.
I think the thing that we're probably proudest about is that we were able to get a full program building on Plympton style.
Yeah,
So
It looks
it's-
gorgeous.
And it came out beautifully, and we got a great contractor.
yeah,
Who was hungry, which helped. This is a lot
and you're
of
right,
money.
it fits.
It
fits the
well,
town.
And it should, and it has the ability to do more later on if we need to.
Yeah.
In the way that it was designed, so hopefully it will work for our department.
Great.
It's
Guys have
just
done
to
a
see
great
it.
work. So we have minutes for the open sessions. Wanna Drag through those, and
I don't think I have those. Well,
I
I,
haven't been sent any recently.
I
I have them, but
Nor do I
Maybe
think
we
I've seen them.
yeah, why don't we hold them?
Till
All right.
days, yeah.
they are out, because I've got copies of each.
Okay.
Okay, rants and raves unless we,
All right, I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Mine would be a rave, and it would be to, the budget process this year and the warrant and how smooth it went with Liz coordinating with the finance committee. It just seems like in the past, it's always been, us running around with chickens with our heads cut off, trying to get this thing squared away in a timely manner, and how smooth and seamless you guys made it seem. So great job. You made it easy for us. Thank
you
you
were
very
running around
much.
like a chicken without a
So thank you, Liz, very much for all your efforts.
Oh, you're welcome.
And so my rave is, the follow-up to that, that now that most of that stuff's done, we have to get through town meeting, but we sort of can get back to work on all the other cool projects we wanted to work on that we haven't had time. So that's exciting that that stuff's out of the way and that we can be kind of proactive again in where we go from here.
Well, I don't have a rave, more news that our former town clerk, Lenore Swanson, passed away yesterday,
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
which,
that.
she was certainly a pillar of the town for many years, and sorry to hear it too. So, unless there's anything further, I'll make a motion that we close the meeting.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night.
Yahoo!